Okay. Oh, it's been a busy evening. Alright. We're here, we're live, the loud vehicles are present as well, it would seem. So I suppose everything is as it should be. Cat is meowing, everything is good and good. Alright. Now, did he eat the food out of that bowl?
If he did, not all of it.
Okay.
He might also be full, you know?
Yeah, no, because when I had put it down, it looked like he was investigating it at least. So that was something. We had to get the dogs a new brand of dog food because what we got them, what they had been eating, they suddenly were like, no, I don't want to eat this anymore. And I was like, really? This shit was expensive for the size of the bag. Can we at least finish the bag and then we'll get you a new brand? And they're like, no, I just don't want it. I'm like, okay, so we got them a different brand and money was so tight. It was a much cheaper brand. And Zuzu ate it like 4 times and he's like, nope, I'm not going to eat that anymore either. And there's still like 2/3 of a bag left. It's a small bag, but there's still 2/3 of it left. I'm like, you're really not going to eat this? And they're like, no. So then we had to sacrifice a non-existent unborn child to buy another small bag of dog food from a different brand today. And they ate it out of our hands, but I don't know if it's because I was hand feeding them and they thought it was a treat or if they actually like it. We'll have to see how the next few days turn out. I hope they eat this one. So it's like, I cannot give you people food nonstop. That is not happening. Because there's plenty of nights that I eat stuff that they just can't have. And we don't have the funds to cook just for them. That's not happening. Hey, Taco. How's it going? So, we ended up doing this a little bit later today, and I apologize. Sometimes we need to do errands on spur of the moment, depending on how the anxiety levels are sitting for the husband. And he had a rough morning, and then my dad ended up canceling his doctor's appointment that he was supposed to have today, which is why we hadn't planned on trying to get these errands done earlier in the day. And he wasn't up to doing anything after he found out the reason my dad had to cancel his appointment. So, I had a rough time sleeping, and when I got up, or started waking up, it was around 3:30-ish, and, husband laid down with me for a minute, and we were just kind of laying there while I was, waking up, and I was like, okay, so he was telling me, you know, plans and things, and we were sitting there talking about what we were going to need from the store. And we were originally talking about, okay, well, after I'm done my stream, we can run and do that real quick before I make dinner. And then he's like, he's like, are you okay if we just try to do it now? And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. It shouldn't be that long of a run. I'll just start stream a little bit late. And then when we got there, we were discussing about the other stuff that we needed to get from the other store. And, we were kind of like, well, fuck, maybe we should just get it now while we're out. And he was still feeling up to doing it. So, we ran to that one, and then we were already down the other end of Fayetteville. And it's kind of a production for us to get down that end of town, and because, you know, it's a good half hour away depending on traffic some days. And I was like, well, I mean, are you sure? Because I still need to go to Joanne's. And he's like, oh, right. He's like, we can go now. I'm like, I don't have my list. And was like, I think I remember what's on there, but I don't have my card either. And he's like, well, we can put it on this, and then we can transfer the funds back or over to pay for it when we get home. And I was like, all right. So then we stopped at Joann's, and then we quick ran through, drive through somewhere to get something to eat on the way home so that I didn't have to stop and cook dinner and be like another hour until we got started. And I hadn't had anything to eat or drink since I got up at 3:30, so I'm like, I need something. I need a water, I need a soda, I need caffeine, I need food. I need something, because my brain is real damn mushy right now. My allergies aren't helping. You just got home from work? Nice, nice. So how has taco been? So like one thing ended up turning into three things, and then we had to get home and get settled and bring some stuff in, and then I was checking against my list and then checking against my receipt, and because there was some weirdness happening when we checked out at Joann's, and I was just like, I don't even know what is happening anymore. I was so confused. I don't normally shop there. I usually just order shit off Amazon because it's easier and I don't have to worry about getting to the other side of Fayetteville. Because it's like the furthest in the shopping district where all the chain stores are that we can get, while still staying in Fayetteville. And so they're a pain in the ass to get to. And I had written down like the regular prices off the stuff on the website when I was doing my shopping list, because I was like, okay, I can't bank on the sale price because I don't know what day we're going to get there, and I don't know if this shit's going to still be on sale. So I was doing, trying to do my estimated price range based on the regular prices. And I should have known there was going to be shenanigans, because whenever I try to order stuff from there, a lot of the time it's like out of stock for in-store pickup, and I'm like, of course you are. And it'll be, online only or something, or that's the only spot where they have the ability to get it to me, or sometimes it'll be out of stock online, but like the store will have it near me, and I'm like, all right. Well, there was all sorts of fuckery afoot when we went in there. Anybody that's worked a retail position, maybe the retail positions that I've done have just been super effing strict about how things had to look, how things were signed, how things were priced. I was all sorts of anxiety ridden walking in there to begin with, because I'm not familiar with that store. I don't know where everything is. So I can't just walk through the aisles and get in and get out. Like, I can't just be like, okay, this is where this is where that is where that is. It doesn't work that way in there for me. And I'm also scatterbrained because I'm trying to remember what the fuck was on my list, and I ended up going out of order in the list that I had, in the way I had written it, because of how the aisles were, and so that had me a little extra scattered. And I'm like, what is the deal with the prices here? So I went to get felt squares because I need them for the gingerbread project. I have to cover the styrofoam base that we're working on. I want to cover that in white just so it's not quite so scritchy, and and then I'll put the white fluff on top of it for the snow. Well, I finally find the felt, and I'm looking at it, and some of them were marked clearance, like 25 cents, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It doesn't really matter what the color is because I'm going to be covering it with fiber, so, whatever. So I started grabbing a bunch of those, and I'm trying to count up how much this is going to be in my head, and I'm like, okay, well, like, if I have to, they had a bunch of the 25-cent stuff on clearance. I'm like, well, that's good. That's a good price, because the website said they were 59 cents each. And I'm trying to do the math in my head, and it's not working. And then I saw they had, like, a large like double wide piece of felt. So what is that? 18 by 24 maybe, because it was 9 by 12 or something. I don't know. I know it was double the 9 by 12. I guess that would be 18 inches by 24 inches. It didn't look like that though. I'm sure I've got this measurement wrong, but it looked like two standard pieces of felt squares put together. And I was like, oh, I could get that, and I'd need like 2 of those, one for the top, one for the bottom, and then I'd have to get some to wrap around the edges to cover the difference. And so I'm sitting there trying to visualize how much I needed in my head, because, you know, didn't have the list with me. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's like $5 for that. And Russell showed up because he had to run over to the Walmart that was right next door. And he walks in, and I'm like, oh, good, my calculator's here. He goes, what? Or I said my mathematician, you know, whatever. And I was like, here, I need you to keep track of this shit for me, because this is the 3rd time I've recounted how much I'm at. And then he's like, well, just get those small squares. They're cheaper. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I realized, oh, hey, all of the felt squares, like the standard size ones, were on sale for $4 for $1. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I got probably way more felt squares than I actually needed for this particular project, but that's okay, because, you know, they'll end up getting used. Not a big deal. Because they were on sale. And I was like, yay. And it took me a few minutes to find the right jewelry making aisle to get the eye screws that I needed. And so I found those, and I wasn't so sure if they were still on sale. And then I'm trying to find the right brown color of yarn, because I had seen it on the website, but it was out of stock in the store. I'm like, of course you are. So we decided to go with a different color that I already had. And then I found the polyfill. The polyfill wasn't priced for the one that I wanted to buy, because I know polyfill is expensive. There's no price on it. And I was like, how in the ever-loving fuck do you have shit on the shelf with no price on it? No sign, no scan bar with the price on it, nothing. Nothing. Our asses would have been grass at the craft store that I worked at if there was not even a scan label on that bitch. And I'm like, not even a little paper printed sign. And I was like, damn, what is going on in here? Half of the store's price checkers were down and had signs on them that said out of service. And I'm like, I don't know how much this is. I didn't have my 40 off coupon. And I'm like, damn it. Because I had to get a bottle of glue that was like $8. And I was like, all right, fine. And then I got to the embroidery floss aisle, and the pricing was kind of weird. Like, they had spots on the racks that the embroidery floss were sitting in that had a price on it of 99 cents. And I'm like, this said 60 cents on the website. And then up at the top, it said something about 60 cents for this type, $1.24 for this type, and that one. And I'm like, okay, well, is it just those up there that are 60, like right above the price sign, or is all of this down here 60? And I'm like, the website said they were 60 though. So I'm like, I'm really confused, because now the prices aren't matching to what I knew them to be off of the site. I'm like, what the fuck, yo? And I was just like, how are you all getting away with this? Like, both of the managers that I had and assistant managers would have been like fired and screamed at, and all of us would have been in big trouble for not even having a printed sign to indicate some way, some shape or form of how much something was. And I was just like, what is happening? What is happening? And then there was some confusion when we checked out. I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm still looking at this receipt, and I still don't think it looks right. But I don't fucking know. And I'm just like, what? Like, I don't think I was overcharged. I think I was undercharged. And I don't want to cause problems, but I'm having such a moral dilemma over this where I'm like, should I take everything back and make them double check this receipt? Because I feel like something didn't get rung up. But maybe I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth and just take it. I mean, they're the ones that may not have rung it up, and I'm just like, y'all, it's almost a half an hour drive to get back there. And I'm just like, there might not even be anything wrong. It might just be the way I'm reading their receipt. But I'll tell you what, I was not too happy to see that there was a price difference between in-store the cat just knocked something over, sorry. Between the price in-store and the price on the website. Like, because I kept telling Russell, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Why is this cheaper than what I had it worked out in my head on paper earlier? I mean, there was one thing that we didn't get that we omitted entirely. And I'm just like, because it was more in-store than it was on the website. And I'm like, what? I couldn't get my string lights, though. I might just say fuck it and not get them. And just make my own little non-lighted decorations to put on this thing. Because we can do that. But it was just... I'm still confused by this trip in there. I don't know what the F that was all about. I think I got everything but the embroidery hoops for what I wanted to get. Those I'm gonna have to order off Amazon because they just didn't have anything. I mean, a lot of their stuff was kind of picked over, to be perfectly honest. Let me check my list. So, I got the floss. I got the needle threader. I got a thimble. I got my eye screws. I got the felt. Not necessarily in the colors I had originally was thinking, but that's okay. And I got way more than I had written down, so that's still fine. We didn't get the craft sticks, but that's like, whatever. I will say the tacky glue on the website said it was $6.99, but when we got it in the store, the shelf said $7.99, and I am just so confused why some stuff was cheaper on the website and more in the store, and then other things were more on the website and cheaper in the store. Like, it was reversed. It kept reversing, and I'm like, are these labels correct? Is the website wrong? Like, I'm so confused. I don't understand. Did I write down the wrong price off the website? Like, I don't know anymore. I don't know. I'm so bizarrely perplexed by this. If anybody, like, shops regularly with Joann's and can help explain this to me, that'd be awesome. Because I don't have that much experience shopping with them. But all I kept doing was having flashbacks the entire time of when I worked for AC Moore, and I'm like, oh, this shit would not fly. Hell no. Maybe it's because our store was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the owner of the entire chain's house, and he would just stop in on a whim at times. So we always had to be on a dime, perfect, showcased 100%. But I was just like, oh my god. I was just like, wow. I just couldn't even. I'm still having trouble processing it. Just like, why? Yeah, you know, that damn tacky glue said $6.99 on the website.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah, why was it $7.99 in the store?
$7.49.
Was it $7.49?
That's where it was.
I gotta look at the receipt. Maybe I should just burn the receipt and just, I've already bought it. It's done. It's over with. I'm not going back at this point. But also part of me, like, really wants to be pissed off and be one of those people that emails the chain and be like, yo, what the fuck, G? Because I'm just like, how is this a thing? Like, why are you charging more for some things and not for others based on where you're getting them from? Like, what? I don't understand. I'm so confused. Someone help me. I don't. Yeah, one of the things I'm not even sure if she actually rung up, because Russell and I were looking at the total, and I could have swore it said like $48 and change. And then he thought my tacky glue was sitting on the counter, and Russell's like, oh, did you get the tacky glue? And she's like, oh, maybe I didn't. And then she rang it up, and he goes, oh no, wait, it's already on here. So then she voided it. She's like, oh, okay. My bad. I guess I did. I guess I just forgot to put it in the bag. And I'm like, okay. And I hadn't been watching her that closely. So, and I did get a lot of sheets of felt, and she had to count each one individually. And then she was kind of talking to me about stuff, and I was such in an anxiety zone. I just wanted to get the fuck out, to be perfectly honest, because I was trying to rush because we had some cold stuff in the car from Sam's. And so I wasn't watching everything that she was doing. But when I saw the 48 something, and I'm like, okay. And then she voided what we thought was a double scan. And then it dropped to like 43 or 42 or something. And we did a charity donation to round it up. And I'm just kind of befuddled because I don't think one of the items got scanned, but I'm not positive because I don't know how to read their damn receipts. I don't think I see it listed. And I'm just like, did she scan this? Because this dollar amount just seems too low. Because as we were walking, I ballparked the price on the one item we couldn't find a price for. And I wasn't sure if I was too low on it or not, but I thought I might have been. And then when we got up there, it was lower than what we were estimating the whole way, and that was after tax. And I'm like, something doesn't seem right. But I don't know. I don't know. P-Butt, we're not going to do that. Thank you. He's wound up. Come on now. Up and around. There we go. Sorry. I'm maneuvering with my mouse hand. I really shouldn't play one-handed, but sometimes I do. So, we're on the Bloodthirsty challenge at the moment. We'll get to Working Man in a little bit. We're trying to get to level 57. Couldn't remember what level I was. So, we've been killing these moths. I actually came over and started them just to see if we could handle them, and we could. We were fine. The fights take a little bit longer since we're 56 and they're dark orange to us, but we haven't been too bad with them. I've needed to eat here and there, depending on whether or not I've been paying attention to keep Ignore Pain up, but it hasn't been terrible. Like, I haven't gotten below 50%. Yes, Peabody, thank you. You're good now, bud. Every time I start talking. And, P-Butt, we're not gonna attack the door, okay? We're not. Alright? Well, no, we're not gonna do that. Okay? Can you behave now? Let's try. Okay? We have a curtain up over our... Damn it, fucker! We have a curtain up over our entrance door to the outside because it's glass, and to block the view. P-Butt, we're not competing. Let's stop. And Jesus Christ, he does it on purpose. And he kept trying to like jump up the side of the door and attack the curtain, and it's already barely attached to the door anymore as it is. Like, curtain rods are sacred items in this house, and the cats don't give a flying fuck. So there's times where we've had to say fuck it and forgo a curtain rod and like screw the fabric, whatever we're using as a curtain, into the frame around the window, because Cal sees them as a challenge to stand on them. And I wish I was kidding. These guys have broken several curtain rods between trying to climb on them, trying to climb over them to look out the window, depending on the height of the window, and I'm just like, could we not? And, yeah, so some windows are missing their curtains altogether because they bent the rod in half and we just didn't put it back together, and it was in a precarious place that we couldn't really get back to without moving a bunch of shit out of the way. But, it's quite... Yes, his name is Mr. Peabody. P-E-A, like the vegetable. B-O-D-Y. However, his nickname has become P-Butt, as in the letter P, or P-E-E, or P-E-A, however you want to pronounce or spell it, and then Butt, B-U-T-T, because he's a butthead. A lot of the times. He's either knocking stuff over, or he's sitting there meowing at the wall, trying to jump up it, or he's sitting on Russell's desk trying to attack his second monitor, regardless of what he's watching on it. There could be nothing up on it. It could be text from Discord, and he'll be sitting there scratching at it. He wants me to pet him a lot, and he likes his manhandling petting, where I'll rub both sides of him, like, left and right, like, really vigorously from his head down to his tail, and he fucking loves it. And the second I try to stop, he swings at me and digs his claws in to try to keep me from taking my hand away. And he's an asshole, because he's actually broken my skin and made me bleed a few times doing that. Or, you know, if you go to walk past him and you don't stop long enough to his liking, he will send out the claws and swing at you, and I'm like, damn, dude, stop. Yeah. He's a bit of a spaz, and he just... There'll be times where he just sits in the hallway and just meows at the wall and tries to climb up it, and then starts digging at the wall for like 20 minutes. Or if the cat that visits us the outside is on the front porch and Peabut sees him, he will sit either in Russell's window or on the floor looking out the glass panels in the door, and he'll just start digging at the glass. Obsessively digging at the glass. And then he'll lunge at the glass to try to get the cat on the outside. And the other cat's just sitting there looking at him like, lol, you can't get me. And I'm just gonna lay here and take a bath right in front of you just to piss you off. And Peabut, I swear to God, the one day he wasn't having it, he sat there and meowed and dug at the glass for almost 20 minutes straight. And I was like, Peabut, stop. Peabut, stop. Peabody. Peabut. I had to get up and chase him 3 times, and he came right back. And I was like, dude, enough. I was like, the glass on that door is very thin. If you end up breaking those glass panes, Russell's gonna be pissed. 'Cause I don't know that we can replace that very easily. It would probably end up having a piece of plywood screwed in over it. 'Cause I don't know. This door is so old, I don't know if we could replace it. Like, I don't know if that's one whole sheet of glass under this, like, wooden partition. Like, there's, like, little, like, crossbars the whole way up. I don't know if they're individual squares of glass or if it's all one sheet. I don't know. And I really don't want to find out. So, it's like, cat, can we not? But, yeah, no, he's an ass. I mean, Cal's not much better, but Cal's an ass in a different way than Mr. Peabody is. Cal's too smart for his own good, so he gets bored really easily. And he has this attachment to Russell. So when Russell, we swap Cal and Mai, our grandma gargoyle cat. They can't be in the same room together because Cal's a little too obsessed with her and she's not too happy about it. So they get into growling, fur-flying fights. So we keep them separated, and the one cat spends the night in the mother-in-law's room, because that's like one of the rooms that we can have a door that can physically close. Our bedroom door doesn't have a door that we can, or our bedroom doesn't have a door we can physically close, and to keep animals sequestered from each other. So we have Mai in the mother-in-law's room at night, and Russell sleeps in there with her so she doesn't get too wiggy about being alone, because that has happened before. And then during the day, we'll put Cow in there, so they kind of rotate on timeout. But when Russell kicks Cal out of that room at night when he goes to bed, then Cal just sits in the hallway and meows because he wants Russell's attention. Or wants that cat. I'm not sure which. He's a little bit of a pain in his own right. He likes to jump up on top of stuff. He sits on top of the light fixture that's above our sink in the bathroom. It's like this wooden box. I thought it had a top on top of this wooden box, like a ledge. Apparently no, it's an open 3-sided wooden thing that has light bulbs sticking out of it. There's no actual top to this box, so he's just like laying on the open fixtures or whatever that's up there apparently. And one of these days I swear he's gonna step on one of those light bulbs and it's just gonna burst, and I'm just like, can we not be up there? And then he'll walk from that onto the shower curtain bar, which is a tension rod, and he's knocked that down a couple of times, and we've heard stuff go crashing in the bathroom. And last night he was being kind of quiet. Usually when it starts to get to be a certain time, he starts meowing in the other room because he wants to come out and reminds us that, hey, my timeout time is done. And I was kind of running a little behind getting some stuff done, and we had to bring in some stuff from the car from the one trip to get some supplies, and we had just finished doing all of that, and I had gotten dishes done and everything, and I was sitting here, and Russell had his headphones on, and I might have still had mine on, but I could still hear what was going on around me. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what was that? And he's like, huh? I was like, I thought I heard glass just shatter. And he's like, I didn't hear nothing. So I got up. I was like, it sounded like glass or like ceramic or something shattering. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't hear it. So I grabbed my flashlight, and I thought, well, maybe something got knocked off a shelf in our laundry room, because we've got all kinds of tools and jars of screws and nails and things in there. I was like, maybe the cats were being dumb in here and knocked something down. Shine the flashlight through there. I didn't see anything on the floor. So I was like, huh. And I was really super confused. I'm like, oh, maybe it was something in my parents' room. Maybe the dishes shifted or something in the drying rack, and I'm trying to justify it to myself because I couldn't figure out what the hell it was. I was like, well, maybe I've lost my fucking mind. Russell went to go to bed around 1:30 this morning. He was kind of laying in here with me for a while, and he had almost fallen asleep. I'm like, hey, I thought you said you were going to sleep in the other room tonight because of the cat. And he goes, yeah, I really should. But he was almost asleep. I said, you're going to be asleep in 10 minutes if you don't get up. And he's like, uh-huh. And then the cats in here solved that for him because they knocked the fan out of the window and it crashed really loud. So he got up to fix that, and then he got up to go to bed. And then he came back in. He goes, yeah, remember when you said you thought you heard glass shatter? And I'm like, uh-huh. He goes, you did. I was like, what broke? He goes, Cal knocked some of the glass candle holders my mom has in her room off a shelf. And I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't find it. So then at 1:30, he had to take a roll of packing tape and was trying to put it into the rug to make sure that he didn't miss any tiny shards because we didn't think the vacuum was going to get it all. I was like, well, don't take your shoes off in there in case you missed any. That one, like, we can't even have a door open because he likes to jump and sit on the top of the doors, the open doors. I almost broke his tail, the tip of his tail the one time, because I didn't see him on the top of our door that goes in and out, and I went to fling the door closed behind me when I came in, didn't know he was up there until I heard meow, and I was like, what? And the door had tried to shut on his tail, and I don't know if it bruised it or full on broke it, but he was not happy with me for a while. And I was like, well, fucker, we don't get on tops of doors now, do we? So, just like, really? Really? And we had a minor flea outbreak because of the outside cat that's been visiting us. And we haven't had the funds to get them the good flea medication. And our vet was being weird about wanting to see them before they would give us the good flea medication because it was prescription. Because the fleas in this area don't respond to frontline anymore. It almost made them, like, triple even faster. So I was like, okay, we tried that the one time. That's how we found out that the frontline wasn't working anymore. And so we got something else that we thought had a similar ingredient to Canine Advantix, because we didn't remember using that one before, and we thought, well, maybe. It kind of did a little something, but not enough. And so now the cats, or two of the cats, are treating the floor like lava. And especially P-Butt, he's been fucking parkouring as hard as he can across the house without touching the floor unless absolutely necessary. And I'm like, really, dude? So he's been jumping from Russell's computer desk to his chair, and then he tries to make a flying leap from the chair onto the corner of the bed, and that's a good amount of feet in between those two. Or he'll climb across Russell's desk, step all over his keyboard, try to climb on the I don't know what to call this. The table, the cabinet, the stand that we have the crab tank sitting on. It's the stand that went to my 50-gallon tank, but since we don't have the 50-gallon fish tank running right now, we still have the 50-gallon tank. It's out in our shed. I didn't want to get rid of it because it was expensive, and we might eventually be swapping the crabs to the 50-gallon tank, but I still had my 30-gallon or 29-gallon tank too. So we grabbed the 29-gallon tank to put the crabs in for now. And so that's sitting on this stand, so there's like room on the sides and stuff because it doesn't have as big of a footing as the 50-gallon did. So then he walks onto the stand that the crab tank is sitting on, knocking everything over that we have sitting on to there. Loudly, I might add. And then from there he jumps to the one footstool that we brought out of the one bedroom so the dogs can get up on the bed a little bit easier so they don't have as far to jump, because we tried to make them a ramp and they're like, what do I do with this? I'm like, you walk up it. And then they just looked at me and jumped up on the bed standing next to it, and I'm like, that's not how this works. I think I got them to use it once and then that was it, and I'm like, alright. But they'll jump on the ottoman and then jump on the bed. At least Zuzu will sometimes. I have to remind him. Because the bed's like a good height for them because they're small guys. We're getting all kinds of greens here. Not really that much of an upgrade on that one though. But, so then he'll jump from the stand that the crab tank is sitting on to the ottoman, and the ottoman's not that solid, so if there's a little too much weight on one side of it, it'll pop up off the floor and then slam back down. And so he does that to me multiple times a night when I'm trying to sleep, where he'll jump on it and he'll unbalance it and then it'll thud when it hits the ground, and I like wake up in a panic because I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then I'll see him sitting there looking at me and I'm like, really? And he goes, meow. Like, go away. Just stop. And, like, I hate to say it, but right now I think the best behaved one is the little demon kitten. Half the time she just sits on the end of the bed and follows me around and meows at me while I'm doing the dishes because she either wants attention or she's just being talky. I don't know. But her and one of the males don't get along either. I think they're having a fight for alpha dominance, which is rather interesting. But she does not like him. The one day he walked by her and she had a fucking meltdown and came at him. And then he finally got past her because we broke it up and she kept on running and ran into one of the other male cats and then she went after them and I'm like, oh, calm yourself down. Okay? Do you need a timeout? I think everybody needs to separate and go find a corner. Like, we have 2 spray bottles at least on hand with water to break up the madness at times because it's like, hey, enough. And then the dogs are like, Mom, what's happening? I don't know what's happening. I'm like, that makes 2 of us, buddy, because I don't know what the fuck's happening either. Just, oh, it's a 3-ring circus around here some days. Just absolute craziness. Alright, I almost forgot to do the show tweet yesterday. I'm still not adjusted to not having a stream on Wednesday, so I tend to forget. I'm gonna have to start scheduling that fucker. Like, I thought about it when I was getting ready to make dinner, and I'm like, it's too early to do it yet. I should have just fucking scheduled it the second I thought about it. And then I got busy trying to do something else and forgot. And I didn't remember till after I was, in the middle of doing dishes, and I was like, oh shit. I'm like, what time is it? I was like, fuck, the tweet. It's like, god damn it, brain. Can you not do this? Can we remember to do the things that we've needed to do? Like, we've been remembering to do the thing for how long, and you switched your stream day and now you can't remember. I was like, nope, I can't. Just, ugh. So yeah, getting about 3 bars over here has been taking anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how focused I am. So I'm hoping that'll pick up a little bit, maybe for next level. But I'm so glad we were able to work on these guys this level, because that definitely helped in the time department, because I mean, we're getting 1140 XP, so I didn't have to go after the green mobs. Because they had at the level 60, I guess, no, 53 mobs. They would have, sorry, I'm getting my levels confused because I've been doing beta testing this week too. So, the level 53 mobs, probably would have been closer to 400 this level, or like 420 or something. Which is a big difference compared to 1140, so I'm happy that these guys worked out this level. Getting gear was a little bit oddly frustrating because it wasn't too expensive, and I don't really mind spending the gold for it on this character because this is my horde character and I can't combine the money with my alliance side. So I was like, okay, well, that is what it is. And she had a fair, oh, there's our ding. She had a fair amount on her. I think she was around 4,000 gold-ish, close to 5,000 when I went to get her gear. So, I mean, I did spend a fair amount, but she wasn't completely flat broke, so that helps. But I was just surprised that the gear was the prices that it was. Oh, okay, we're gonna have to do it this angle, because that... They need to fix the selfie camera, please, because the shoulder armor completely in her face if she holds it down here. at normal level, so... Can we get selfie cam fixed for Dragonflight, please? Thanks. So yeah, I was doing beta testing this week. Two Shanks joined the testing team, so he did a pretty thorough look at Bloodthirsty, so I didn't have to really keep going on that, and I didn't really have the time to look at that too much further in depth. I think he was using a hunter, I was using a priest. Annette was helping us with some stuff as well for Pacifist and Iron. She had some mixed thoughts on Pacifist. My Pacifist attempt felt a little better than I think hers did, unless she was just being a little extra cautious, or maybe I just got lucky. I don't know which is really what I would consider there, but I was looking at professions a little bit. It wasn't a very in-depth look, but I skimmed the surface a bit because, you know, time. I don't have time to sit there and sit in beta non-stop all day. It's not gonna happen, guys. I'm doing what I can and just trying to get a broad look at what we can expect, what might be an issue, what might not be an issue, what might need further looking into as things settle and get fleshed out within beta. I found some concerning things and some interesting things. We'll go more into depth on that on Saturday. I am co-hosting with Lita, and we're going to talk some more about our thoughts on beta now that beta has started. And I'll see what Lita has to say. I haven't seen what her thoughts are on it yet. But I did look at a few things, and some things were encouraging and some things were, oh, so like not necessarily a bad but like a, oh, we need to pay attention to that. So I mean, we'll get it. We'll get it figured out. But yeah, we'll be talking about current beta thoughts now that beta has started on Saturday, or at least that's the plan right now. All right, what are we doing? I need to do this. All right, now I did change her transmog up. I was thinking about changing her hair too, but that seems to be a little bit of a taboo for me, or, you know, I don't want to change too much because then I'll jinx shit. But did change up the transmog, so that was fine. We got something that's a little more covered now. Wow. Learn to spell, dipshit. WoW challenges. There we go. Completely missed the L's. It's been that kind of week. WoW challenges. Bloodthirsty. Control your soul. We are a prot warrior. Dings level 57, you guys. 57. 58, 59, 60. 3 more levels to go. Our slash blade is currently sitting at 5 days, 23 hours, 15 minutes, and 42 seconds. So 3 more levels before I will have gotten every single class currently in-game to max as a Bloodthirsty. 3 more levels. Right, total kills on this one. And if things keep progressing the way they've been progressing, the Working Man and the Bloodthirsty here should hit 60 together. 12, oh, that's a tough number. 1, 2, 2, 19. 1, 2, 2, 19. I have to break the numbers up into different groups or else I won't get them in the right order. So, okay, if we hide the comma, alright, that's fine. Some days are better with the transposing and the dyslexia than others. And some numbers just trip me the fuck up. Okay, that should be okay, so we'll send that along. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, so, next, oh, I need to put that on the thing. Okay, I haven't done my show notes yet. Next Tuesday, Brewfest will be kicking off. article will go up at some time on Tuesday. It's good that that's not a stream day for me, so I'll have time to work on it and it won't be rushed. That article update will probably not be out till later Tuesday. I will get it up as soon as I can. It kind of depends on if Wowhead puts their update out early or not. Lately, they haven't been putting out their holiday updates on day of beginning. So you might see some wording in there that as of this time, or as of this posting, blank, 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 blank. Especially in the new for this year thing. So if I find out that when they update it, if something new happened that I need to go back and add in, I will update it. But that's why you might see where it says as of the time of this posting or something along those lines. It's because Wowhead didn't update, so I wasn't sure if something had changed. As it was, they haven't updated the date. But when I did the Harvest Festival for the 6th, they had not updated the start and end date of the event in 2 years. On their guide, on their website. So I was like, guys, I know it's only like one quest, but you haven't updated this. Did someone forget? Someone forgot, right? I think the last time they updated the start and end date was like 2020. I was like, what? So that was a thing. So yeah, we've got Brewfest starting on the 20th. That's gonna go until... When does Brewfest end? Oh, wow. Really? That's so weird. It ends on a Thursday? Really? They've changed the way that holidays work now, right? Because I'm so used to holidays starting and ending on maintenance days that it seems really bizarre that it ends in the middle of the week. Like, what? Alright. That's fine. Okay, so that is when that ends. Okay. Alright. So it ends on a Dark Moon... Okay, so we got Dark Moon Fair here. When was the last Dark Moon Fair? Okay, so that was the full September date. Okay. Okay. I don't think there'll be a quest issue with quests turning over for the Dark Moon Fair for October, since it's a full new month. Should be okay. Alright. The things I have to keep track of, you guys. Ah, my brain. Alright, let's get the vendor mount up here. I usually use this guy, but he tends to move sometimes, and I don't fully trust him all the time. Alright, so that was a 17 gold repair bill. That was a little painful, but we're in plate, so... I mean, our leafy antennas more than make up for it, so, I mean, that's fine, whatever. We ended up with 12 slumber powders. That was almost 200 gold. Alright, I'm just gonna vendor this shit, because I don't feel like schlepping back to Ogremar. And half the time when I do put up green gear, nobody buys it anyway, even if it's like the lowest price up there. Alright, so 780, not bad, not bad. That was for the vendor stuff, and the green gear. That was all that together. I didn't do separate exits for that. Alright, so not bad. Alright, so we're gonna swap over to the working man. And I need to pull up... They updated OBS, and now I hate this. The screen is so much bigger and chunkier. It drives me crazy. And I can't resize it any smaller, because then it makes the preview window like super tiny, and then I can't see what the fuck I'm doing. But I need to leave it open so I can see if I'm suddenly dropping frames like crazy. Alright, So there's the working man. Pop into that. So this week I also had some time to work on a concept piece for a needle felting project that I want to do through one of my reference photos that I saw on Unsplash. I'm going to try to put this one in an embroidery hoop, but I have to order the hoops. So like it would be like framed in the hoop, and see how that goes when it's all said and done. But I have to get the hoops first. And but I saw a decent price. I think it was it 12 or 15? I think maybe 17 on Amazon. That seemed like a decent set to start with, I guess. So we'll go with that. Oh, I still have to fucking do dishes. Alright. I might not be doing dishes tonight. I might be like, fuck it. I have to see how many are there. So behind. I've been doing really good. I was getting dishes done like every day in a row. I gotta tell you, I'm fucking exhausted. This not being able to fall asleep until like 8 o'clock in the morning is kicking my ass. I think the day before I was asleep for like 2 hours, woke up, asleep for another hour, woke up. Like, I could not stay asleep. Last night was a little better. Because I didn't hear Russell get up or come in. Which was surprising, considering he was having a really bad morning, but he was also trying not to wake me up. I think I got about 4 hours of sleep this morning. Oh, you're back there somewhere. Alright, no, you can stay back there. I'm not getting that close to the foxes. That ain't worth it. So I think I had about 4 hours of sleep this morning. And then I'm a little fuzzy on what time I actually woke up. I remember asking. I don't fully remember the answer. I don't remember if it was 11:53 or 12:53. It might have been 11:53. And I did manage to fall back asleep eventually. My allergies were making it like impossible to breathe properly too, so I was kind of stuffy. But I remember at one of the times I woke up, I was like, Russell, can you fix the curtain? The cat's knocked it over the window fan again. He goes, no, the window's shut. I was like, why is the window shut? He goes, oh, well, we put the air conditioning back on because it was hot as balls in our room. And I was like, oh, okay. So, where are you? Like, there you are. See, I see you on the map. This feels so weird because this is what I was running around doing in beta. Oh, but I couldn't fly. I was on a ground mount trying to get this shit done. And you're gonna have to be careful when gathering. At least flowers. Oh, probably all of it, but flowers was the thing I really noticed it on. It might exist on the I'm certain it does exist on the regular ore, but I'm not quite sure how it works yet on the ore, because there was some sort of talk of specializations and I didn't understand how you got a specialization or when that happened. Professions are going to be a little bit more complicated, it seems, when it comes to Dragonflight. In the sense that there's going to be a few more layers to it. And it seems like they're bringing back crafting stations. Can I get this? I don't know. I know there's lions up here somewhere. But, kind of like in... So, if any of you played during Outlands, Burning Crusade, the first time, not the classic version, the first vanilla-y iteration, Alchemy had, specific tables that you had to go to, if I'm remembering correctly, to brew certain things. Not everything, just certain things, like special things. In Shatrath, like up in where the bird people were, like you had to go there to make it. I can't remember. The Skedis guys that hung around the city. So it seems like there's going to be stations that you're going to have to go to make some things. There's one thing that was added that I don't know its purpose yet. And that might be because they haven't implemented it yet. Like fully. Or I just haven't... Maybe I'm not the right level yet. I haven't stumbled across what triggers the thing to happen. I don't know, but there's a new journal. There's a couple new journals actually, but it's a little confusing in my brain because it's been a muddled thinking week for me. And when you're trying to look at stuff in beta in a short amount of time, diving in just to look at the thing, sometimes you don't have the full big picture of how you would when you're leveling a normal character. So we'll see. I did make it on a pacifist on the ground, entering Dragon Isles and running through 3 of the zones on foot without racking up any kills. I don't know if that was dumb luck. I was on a non-stealth character on a ground mount and had been attacked a couple of times. I had green gear on, so I survived the attack. I probably wouldn't have if I was in the white gear. So that is something to be mindful of, but I also wasn't playing that close to the vest because it was beta and it's not like I was being tracked. So, it was just like, okay, if I die, that's something to make note of. But I didn't actually die, and I didn't actually have any kills showing on my stats. So that was interesting. And really nerve-wracking. But, you know, we'll talk more about that on Saturday, though, because there's all kinds of thoughts I have to organize. I was just, like, throwing thoughts willy-nilly into the, yeah, you can hush, because I'm not doing you. Just throwing all kinds of thoughts as they were happening, as I was coming across stuff into the, our Google Doc for beta testing. So I didn't forget the thought. Which is why I didn't end up streaming any beta testing, because sometimes it's a lot of me just standing there like, what the fuck? So... and me, like, taking 15 to 20 minutes to type a long-winded note into our data bank. So, our data thoughts. It's not all that exciting. the way I do it. Where is it? I'm like, oh, there it is. Standing on it. Alright, where's the other one? And then my brain was trying to wrap around the wording of something, and I ended up submitting a bug report for something that wasn't actually a bug once I figured out what they meant. But right off the bat, as I was reading what had happened between the chat block and the thing, like, the thing, when I, oh, we're gonna be at this for at least an hour. The thing, like, there was a flower, right? So, if you don't want to hear about this, mute me for, like, 10 minutes. So there was, like, a flower, right? And say... Alright, where do we want to... Okay, let's use these as an example up here. So, these things. These floofy lavender-looking things. So there'd be a grove of those, and then, like, say maybe this one down in here that's just a teeny bit shorter would have an orange aura around it, and you could loot it. And I think you needed herbalism to loot it. And when I looked in my chat block, it said, you looted whatever flower name pigment. X number of supplies have been added. And I'm like... Okay. So it kind of looked like I looted two things. So I'm thinking, okay, I looted pigment and I looted supplies. Okay. So I opened my bag and I'm like, and my brain is trying to catch up with the wording and what actually happened in the chat block. And I'm like, wait a minute. We can loot pigment now? It's like, I don't have inscription. Pigment's what you get when you mill the shit together. And I was so confused. And I was like, okay, you said I looted pigment. Maybe this is something new. But where's the damn pigment in my bag? And I just sat there. I'm like, but there's no pigment in my bag. And I was really pissed off. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, I don't see any supplies in my bag either. What is this shit? This has to be bugged. So... my dumbass goes and opens the feedback button or does a bug report for the item. So I'm like, hey, number one, I don't have inscription. I don't understand why I looted pigment. Number two, it wasn't in my bag. What the fuck? Not in those exact words, but basically the gist. It's like, I think this is bugged. It didn't show up in my bag. Number three, it said I looted supplies, and those weren't in my bag either. Like, what is happening? So I submitted the bug report, and then I saw another one, and I looted that one, and the same thing happened. And I'm just sitting there so befuddled, and I'm like, I don't understand this. And then all of a sudden, a little light bulb went off above my head, and I was like, oh, wait, that's not what they meant, right? And for some reason, I was like, I was checking my tabs on here. I'm like, supplies. Do they mean this like war supplies? Like how those were a currency? And I looked at my currency tab, and lo and behold, there was the Dragonflight supplies on that window. I was like, you sons of a bitches. So I'm like, really? It's a fucking currency? But I'm like, I still don't see the pigment, though. And then it ticked off in my brain, oh, wait, the pigment is the supply. Like, there were so many hoops my brain had to jump through to get to that I was just like, oh damn, I just submitted a bug report for something that wasn't broken. And Russell's like, no, that's actually a good thing that you did that. And I'm like, how is that a good thing? He goes, it tells them that their communication on their wording is not getting to the point, that it's too muddled. And he goes, they need to know that. Maybe they can change the wording on it. Because he's like, if you thought that, then I'm sure there were other people that thought the same thing. And I'm like, I don't know. I can be pretty dumb sometimes where I just don't grasp the point. And then after my brain figured out that that's what the fuck the wording meant, then, you know, I was like, I feel so dumb. But he's like, no, it's fine. It's a good thing that you did that. And I was like, it doesn't feel good. It feels like I'm stupid and they're gonna think I'm stupid for submitting a bug for this that wasn't really bugged. And he's like, no, it's fine. So I was like, okay. I had to submit a bug report last night. I keep forgetting that the servers go down on beta at about the time that I'm free on Wednesday to be able to sit down and do some beta shit. And of course, last night when I sat down to get in there, the servers went down, and I was like, is this a planned thing for these things to be down? Because I can't find a schedule for when it goes down. I was like, oh, well, maybe it'll only be down for like an hour. No, it was down for like 3 fucking hours, and they put in a new build or something, and I was like, alright. It didn't wipe out my UI, though, which I thought it would have, but it didn't, so that was one small relief. That I didn't have to go through the hassle of resetting that. But you can save your presets after you've set your bars up. So after that first time, you should be able to, like, you can say just for this specific character, or you can have it saved so that you can grab it on all of your characters if you have your bars set up the same for everybody. So that does help things. I can just log in and grab the thing. So while I'm pissed off about how the UI gets set up now, at least there's that makes it a little less painful, I guess. But if you're anything like me, I actually use these bars for incidentals, that, like, buttons that I use a bit but aren't actually spells. Like, I'll stick my profession shit over here. My mounts, I've got my selfie cam, my Hearthstone, you know, sometimes I'll have food and water and shit over here. And, I had that in beta. And beta was okay with that until last night. Some buttons over here were letting me use them just fine. But buttons down in here were like, no, bitch, that button don't work. And I'm like, what? What do you mean that? Like, it was acting like there was nothing there, and I was like, why isn't this working over here? So then I submitted another bug report. I was like, hey. But I don't think it was actually the button now. Now I think it might have been an issue with one of the boxes. So you know how we have the box that pops up that talks about, oh, you have unspent talent points. You know, the thing that people have get the mod to hide because they don't like it sitting there, or the flashing. I don't care. I just close the box, and I'm not looking over here, so I don't see the flashing. It doesn't really bother me. I've learned to ignore it enough where I'm too focused on everything else that's going on, where it's just not a thing for me. Whatever. There was another button over here on the collections tab that was like, oh, you have unwrapped items in your collection because pets and shit. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to pull the pets out. We're on beta. I'm not beta testing pet battles, so that's not something we need to test for what we're doing. So I'm like, what the fuck ever. I don't care. They can stay wrapped. Like, whatever. And I had been able to just close the X on the box and move on with my life. Well, last night after beta came back up, it wouldn't let me close the X on the box. And I'm like, the fuck? I kept clicking the X, clicking the X, clicking the X, and the box wouldn't close. I had to open the window and then close the window before the damn box would go away. And I was like, okay. That's probably what I should have put the bug report on, and didn't think about it. Because I was more pissed off about this button not working, but I think it was because this box was still sort of ghosted over it, and that's probably why. because I needed to do some archaeology testing, and that's how I found out that something weird was happening over here. And then realized how woefully out of the loop in the news I was, because I was trying not to read too much about Dragonflight before we got into testing. Because I knew a lot of shit was going to change between X and Y. And I don't want the lore messed up too much, or the storyline messed up too much. So I'm just trying to do what I can without getting too questy, if that makes sense. Because, I mean, there's only so much we can do, and the rest is going to have to be up to you guys as you're playing to make notes of, you know, what quests you probably shouldn't do, and that sort of thing. Although I did break beta on one of my characters. Two different characters, but the one was a temporary fuck up. The other one has still not been resolved. So, we'll probably talk about that a little bit more on Saturday, too, so. One of my characters is phase locked, and I can't get back to Dragon Isles, and I'm hoping that this is a beta thing. Really hoping that that's a beta thing. Sort of like how the Borealis boat phasing was an issue, but we didn't have a workaround. Like, we don't have a workaround for Dragonflight. Because, where the Zeppelin is located, I don't think Alliance can get on it to get out there. I haven't tried it, though. Maybe I should. Though that's gonna probably have to wait to test that until things go live. Because right now, all of the Horde NPCs are green to me in Dragonflight zones when I'm Alliance. They won't talk to me, but they don't want to murder me either, which I find interesting. I don't know if that's because of how they're setting up to possibly, like, I don't know if that's because of cross-faction play shenanigans or what, but I did find it interesting. It actually confused the fuck out of me, because I was at the fishing trainer right as you get off the boat, and I was looking across the water and I saw an NPC green nameplate, and I was like, what are they? And I hovered my mouse in their direction, and like the little explainy box down here was like fishing trainer, and I'm like, oh, are you like a different type of fishing trainer? Are you gonna teach me something else? Is there something special you're gonna teach me? So I swam across the water to go have a chatty chat with them, and they wouldn't talk to me, and I was very confused, and I'm standing there, I'm like, but why won't you talk to me? You're green. And then I stood there and I looked around, and then it hit me that this was the Horde side of the entry, because everything looked kind of blood elfy, and it was then that I realized, hovering over every single NPC over there, no one would talk to me. And I was like, oh. Okay. I don't know if they're suddenly gonna get mad at me, so I'll just go. So then I swam back across the little bit of water back to where I was supposed to be. And I don't know if that's just a beta thing or if that's gonna carry over into live. We'll have to see. Don't really know. But, so I I pretty much have everything we need except for the lights, which I'm not sure if we're going to end up doing those now, for our gingerbread project. So I'm going to start that off stream as far as covering our base styrofoam is going to go. Because it's going to be scritchy. And I don't want to torture you all with putting the base covering over the piece. I will record that. I've got no problems recording it, and then I'll put some music over that shit so you guys don't have to listen to it. I don't know if I'm gonna try to sell this fucker. I don't know. Should I keep it? Should I sell it? I guess it depends on what it looks like when we're done. I think I tripped the lady up when we were checking out, though, because she's like, what are you gonna do with all this anyway? I was like, oh, I do needle felting, so I use this as my base. And she goes, huh. She goes, I needle felt too, but I never thought to use felt sheets. I was like, well, I kind of make paintings with them. I kind of paint with, like, the fiber. So this is, like, my base or my canvas type thing. I said, but this stuff is mostly for a gingerbread house I'm working on, like a 3D thing. And she was like, huh. What am I... Look, y'all, did you just see what I fucking did? Oh, damn. That would not have gone well. Not at all. Not at all. Gotta watch me sometimes. I don't know how I never did that on one of my pacifists. Probably because I had it in my head that it was a pacifist. Totally almost went bloodthirsty there. I was in the bloodthirsty spot and I'm like, right, moth. The only thing that stopped me from doing anything and engaging that fight was that I looked down at my buttons and I was confused. And I'm like, what am I opening with again? And then it just kind of hit me that I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I mean, working man can kill stuff. It's not against their rules. They can, I mean, they're supposed to be played like irons, so you can have kills and quests and shit. But killing stuff at this level gets rather difficult, especially depending on the mob. And I'm in the starting zone gear, so probably would not have gone well for me. I mean, my armor's what? 1. Or no, that's my item level. What's my armor at? My armor's at 7. Yeah. I would have had my ass handed to me right there. That quick, I wasn't paying attention and forgot that I needed to be looking for dots, not mobs. Just autopilot. I've done too much bloodthirsty is what I think it is. And ran that loop way too many hours. Way too many days. Because it just, like, autopilot kicked in and I was like, right, next mob. So, Jesus Christ. Oi. How far are we? 34%. Yeah, I didn't have time to do any pre-leveling, pre-stream leveling on her, pre-stream gathering. So yeah, this will take a little bit. So it's been about 20 minutes? 25 minutes? Hedging into 30? Something like that. But I mean, we are rested. It's just a matter of finding the safer nodes that we can get to without too much trouble. That one feels like that one's gonna be trouble, so we'll just leave that. That one's not for us. That one's also not for us. It's like on the... Oh, there it is. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna. I'm just not gonna. It's better off left alone. So, I mean, we're getting a... What, 2,200? That's not bad. Now, I didn't start any concept sketches yet for the gingerbread house. I was thinking of doing that tonight, but now I don't know if I'm gonna have time to. I still kind of want to. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm looking in the wrong spot. Alright, so we got that one. That one's gonna stay there. I'm not risking that. Things get a little dicey up in there. Oh, it's a rich one. But, I don't normally double back, but I don't know if this node's gonna be here when I come back through. And hey, if it re-blooms by the time we come back, then fantastic. But, I might try to work on a concept sketch just to sort of get the idea in my head and to sort of work out how big the house is going to be. I think I have an idea of what shape we're going with and what size. I haven't seen it in physical form yet. I've only seen it in my mental catalog, and what shows up in my brain and what translates down into the physical being realm sometimes are two completely different things. So that's why sometimes if I have a piece I'm really unsure of, I will try to do a semi basic idea down on paper just so I can try to work out in my brain where I want things placed, what colors we're gonna go with, and what size roughly we're gonna be. It's been a while since I've worked kind of small, so I had to do that with the one concept one I posted on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm so used to working on the bigger squares of felt now that I think 5 inches in diameter is going to be as big as I can go and still use the felt base on the 9x12 squares for I think there's a fox in that section there, I think. So I'm just gonna leave that one be for now. And still have it fit in the embroidery hoop. If I had gone with the larger sheet of felt, probably could have gotten 2 on that one. Or maybe I can use that and do maybe an 8-inch one. I probably should have grabbed one of those as a test item, but I also grabbed a piece of stiff felt too. So the normal floppy felt squares are between, let's just say they're around 50 cents. It varies a little bit. Now the stiff felt is $1.49. But I think I can needle felt through it. I was watching a video from a couple of years ago on YouTube that came up in my search responses when I was looking for fabric that you could needle felt into, because I wasn't sure if I had to go with the felt base. And okay, that's gonna stay there. And they actually had like a rough canvas tote bag as one of their items, and I was like, well, shit. And they were like, Now, it's a harder, tighter weave, so you'll have to use a smaller gauge needle, but, you know, you can needle felt through this. And then they're like, but you see how much fiber came through the other side? I would probably put like a piece of felt underneath of it, just to give it something else to hold on to. And the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, okay. So if you can even needle felt through a canvas tote bag, in theory, you could probably do like Ada cloth that they use for cross stitching, or just about anything, really. Felt's probably still my cheapest option, but we had that stretching issue with the piece we're currently working on, where the one side's a little stretched out. So I want to do an experiment with the next Bob Ross tutorial that we follow, and use this stiffer piece. I'm curious to see what it's gonna do. Now, like, if I'm putting the stuff in the embroidery hoops as like and using the hoop as a frame, that I'm still gonna have to use the soft felt squares so that it'll sit in the hoop more properly and not be funny. But hey, are you looking for a guild? If so, LMK, my guild's recruiting. We are primarily a PvP guild, but we are looking for people to do battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds, and arena. You're in Stormwind. I mean, points for the name of the guild. Oh, okay. I thought that was the name of the guild. Sometimes the way I process information takes me a few minutes of reading it again. And not adding my own punctuation. So when I first read this out loud, I was like, if so, LMK, and I put a comma in my brain. My guild, and I thought they added an S on there. Or like, my guild's recruiting. Like, I thought that was their guild. The name of the guild is actually Slay Station. Interesting. But no. Thanks. I hate it when people use that mod. So whenever that mod pops up or add-on pops up that tries to get me to join somebody's guild, I'm like automatically ignore. No. No. Because you couldn't even be bothered to like directly message me. So, no. You're just going for quantity of people over quality of people, for me, in my mind, when you're using that message. Because you're not even talking to the person to get a feel for them before they join. I mean, maybe there's another interview process after that, but I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. So I'm just like, yeah, no, that's okay. I actually have a guild. I just need to put it back on the guild recruitment board so I can join it without so I can like invite myself. So that's the only way around that, because I think I'm the only one aside from Mrs. Rock Guru, who pops on once in a while, in there that's actually doing anything right now. Once in a while, I'll see our college professor friend. But I'm not even sure when the last time was that he was in. And our other friend who was kind of active they bailed out to go to a different active guild. Because her schedule is completely opposite from mine, and I wasn't really doing dungeons or anything. So I don't blame her. And that's fine. Alright, what are we at to? We're at 49% now. Peabody has re-entered the room. Not sure if you heard him. But he has announced his presence once again. Not sure where in the room he is, though. He stopped meowing. Where is he? Do you have him?
Do you want?
Yeah.
Oh, he's just sitting there.
Sitting where? Like, I heard him come in, but I didn't know where he was. Just trying to make sure he's not getting into too much trouble. Oh, I'll tell you, I tweaked my neck last week. It's been about a week. Today, I think. And it is still all sorts of unhappy at times. Like, I'll be okay for a little while. And then it just starts trying to lock up again. I have to be so careful how I turn my head, and there are days where I'm not paying attention. And I was sitting here, and I was kind of like leaning forward on my desk, looking at something. And I can't remember if I had my head in my palm, like my chin on my palm or not. And I turned my head from one screen to the other without straightening my neck. It was still in like the scrunched position that it had been in. And I literally felt either the disc spacer or the vertebrae itself slide over something and shift around. And oh goddamn, it was the creepiest feeling in the world. And it hurt a little bit, but it didn't completely lock my neck up, and I was like, okay. And I kind of froze for a few minutes, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? What's wrong? You okay?
He's on my computer.
He's on your computer. He's on your tower?
Oh no, he's behind it. Peebo, get out of there. Get out of there. You don't fit in there. Come
And that's why there was so much cat hair.
You don't fit in. Oh, sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. Hey, come here. You don't fit there.
He is such a nutcase.
Okay, Momo.
And this is why we call him an asshole.
Last peepees?
He's constantly trying to get into spots where he doesn't belong.
Momo. Momo. Hey, last peepees?
What, was he tapping you?
Yeah. Momo. You want to go last peepees?
Last time you had to, like, get up and, like, really...
He just sits there and stares at me side-eye until I actually move, and he's like, oh, okay, Daddy needs we can go. Oh, my back.
He needs all sorts of encouragement. So, we're not walking tonight?
No, I'm probably actually going to go to bed after this.
Okay. Can we try to walk the dog food down tomorrow?
Yeah.
Maybe we could do that before the Planet Zoo stream tomorrow so we can get some sunlight.
We'll see about that, dear.
But it also depends on what time I wake up.
You're just here for the bed and the snack.
Are you sure? Because last time he was, like, so upset that you left without him, but I had to take him with you.
He looked at me and then got into bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Weird. That's a weird one. Oh. So, the way the current weather pattern is right now, like, it's really nice at night. It's actually a little chilly. So I've been having our bedroom window open so that we could get some fresh air, and it was a little warm during the day. It was like, you know, mid-80s, but, you know, a little warm, but the fan's on. It was fine. I was okay. I wasn't melting. And then it went up to almost 90 today again, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I can't take this up and down temperature bullshit with my neck, which probably isn't helping the neck situation either. Because when it yo-yos like that, or it does a quick change. Okay, that's what vanished. I was like, something just went away on my screen. I thought it was a flower node. It was the flight point. So I had to be so careful with that neck this past week because it keeps kicking off pressure headaches on me. So I have like about a 4 to 5 hour window where I can function. And then like the pressure starts to just get to be so much where I'm just like, yeah, I need to go lay down now. P-butt! Stop. And don't be touching stuff over there. I don't know what you're doing. You need to behave, sir. Yeah, it just starts to get to be too much. But now, with the weather pattern we're currently in, we're getting smoke in the air from all the wildfires on the west coast in California and I think in either Washington or Oregon, possibly both. It's all coming this way. And then there's people that also started either doing more bonfires outside, like in fire pits, or they've got there's a lot of wood stoves around here, which I gotta tell you scare the shit out of me, because they're just sitting on like these metal or brick platforms in their living room, and they're like cast iron. What's the scritchy noise that I'm hearing?
That is your bag getting caught on the fan.
Okay, because I didn't hear it making noises before.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Ed. Yeah, now we have smoke blowing in from out there, and I noticed it the one morning when I was trying to sleep. I had to get up to pee, and I looked outside, and the sunrise looked kind of funny. And Num Nums has food, right?
Yeah.
You fed him earlier? Okay.
No, everyone's got food, everyone's got water.
Okay.
I need to grab my pills.
And what happened? Something happened, because now I'm getting hit with air.
I moved that bag, and Ed jumped up on your thing, so your curtain probably moved a little.
Okay. That's weird. Can you turn that fan off? Because I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I noticed it the one morning because sunrise seemed kind of muted and kind of hazy, and I'm like, is that smoke? And it's kind of concerning because we live in an area where there could be wildfires. There's like all kinds of state forests and shit around us. And we were in a burn ban for a little while where the county was like, absolutely not. You are not burning anything. I don't want to fucking hear it. You're not burning your trash. You're not burning leaf and limb yard waste. You're not doing it. Like, no, they were adamant. There was signs everywhere. And, they're like, if you're caught burning anything, you're going to get fined. And good for them, because they don't want it to become a problem. Because we were still pretty drought-ridden at the time. We've had some rain since then, so I'm not sure if the burn ban is still in effect. But the grass is not as dead grass green anymore. It's a bit more normal color at this point, but you know, you still have to wonder, is this is this something I need to be aware of, like, right this moment? Is this burning here, or is this from somewhere else? And, I managed to see a weather report from the local guy saying, oh no, this is smoke coming from here, and I'm like, that traveled a really long ways. And it's still that thick. That's kind of concerning. And, last night when we took the dogs out, they were saying it was supposed to be clearing out a little bit last night. However, I don't think that was what actually happened, because when Russell took Momo, and then Zuzu came flying out of the other room and he wanted to go, so I had to bundle up Zuzu and try to catch up to Russell real quick. And when I stepped out on the porch, you could see the moon starting to rise behind the church building that's across the street from us. And it looked orange, and I'm like, the fuck is this? I'm like, why is the moon orange? Like, this is bizarre. And so when we came back in, I was looking through Twitter and a couple other websites, because, you know, whenever there's like an astrological event, people are like all in a tizzy over it. Like, they got to tell you about it. So, you know, oh, like, this is like X named moon, and it only happens like once every so many years, you know, like that kind of thing. Like they're excited to tell you about it. And cool, because they're passionate about that. So, I mean, that lets me know when shit's going on, though. I'll be like, oh, yeah, hey, cool. Like, maybe we should bust out the telescope. And, I didn't see anything. And I'm like, really? None of the science nerds are talking about this. Meant in a lovingly way. And I'm like, so why is the moon orange then? Like, it was weird. I'm like, there's gotta still be smoke in the air. And I'm pretty sure it's starting to get to me now. Cause, I find that if I'm super, super tired, things start to bother me more. So, like, my eyes will get super irritated more often or more easily. So when we were in the car on the way to the store, my eyes just started to hurt and itch and water. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? The air from the air conditioner blowing in my face was like actually making my eyes hurt even more. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? This never bothers me. And then we were like, oh, maybe it's the smoke still. Because when we went into Walmart, like, I was gonna get some Visine or something to make my eyes stop being so damn itchy and irritated and stuff. And I was looking at the price of the eye drops, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'll cope. And I'll just wait till we get home, and I'll like put like a cold washcloth or something over my eyes for a little bit. I ain't paying that. I don't need it that badly. Because, you know, Visine itself, like, name brand, is like almost $7 or $8 for a teeny tiny bottle that's like the length of my index finger. And I'm like, no. Oh, damn it, we forgot to get the thing. Okay. Got so caught up looking at the Visine, I forgot to get ibuprofen. Damn it. Sorry, like, see, this is why I need lists, because my brain does not recall the thing that I need until like 4 hours later, and it was one of the one thing we were talking about it too. We were like, oh, should we check? Because I really needed it. Damn it. Now we're gonna have to go back out again tomorrow. Shit, I'm gonna have to message him because he just went to bed, so make sure that he sees that in the morning for when he gets up, in case he ventures out again, because we couldn't get our cat litter tonight. The closest Sam's to us didn't have the Sam's Club brand cat litter, which is cheaper than Tidy Cat by a fair amount. And sorry, I'm debating if I want to try to find this. Where is it? Oh, it's up here. I think I can get this. I don't normally venture over here. So, I think he was talking about trying to go to the next Sam's Club, the next town over. Their Sam's Club's better than ours. It feels a little bigger, and there seems to be a bit more selection, and sometimes their cases of water are cheaper than the cases of water at our Sam's Club in Fayetteville. And I'm like, what? That's so dumb. Not by a huge amount, but by enough to notice that there's a difference. And I'm like, really, you assholes? You're a chain company. Why are you pricing shit differently? Thanks, Ed. Ed thinks the floor is lava too. So now I have 6 Sterilite drawers. Like those plastic drawers that you can put the wheels on the bottom or not put the wheels on the bottom. They're not the greatest quality plastic, but they'll do. Like, I didn't buy them. The mother-in-law bought them, and then she didn't need them anymore. And so I took 2 of them to store some art supplies in. Or I had one, and then I took a second one. And then I think my mom took the other one. And, so I've got them stacked on top of each other, right? So it's like a tower of 6 drawers. And, you know, of course they don't have clothes in them. They've got art supplies. And, why would I ever put clothes in them? You'd think, but no, we have the clothes sitting on something else. But, yeah, I've got like some yarn and stuff, because I have to watch the yarn, because cats and string, number one, I don't want them fucking it up beyond usable for me. Number 2, I really don't want them playing with it unsupervised, because we don't want any accidents to happen, or somebody got a little too wrapped up in their yarn, if you catch my meaning. I already had one terrifying experience of finding one of our cats with, I don't even know how they did it. They had tote bag handles wrapped around their neck because of how they were rolling around and playing with the tote bag. And I had to quickly cut the fucking tote bag handles off of their neck. I'm like, how? You're like a goddamn toddler. Like, how? Cats are supposed to be independent fuckers. Like, I shouldn't have to treat you like a 2-year-old. I mean, come on. How did you do this? To this day, I still don't know how the fuck he did it. Scared the shit out of me. And of course, you know, Russell wasn't home yet. So I'm trying to fucking deal with it on my own. And I was like, hands were shaking. I couldn't fucking find the scissors to begin with at first. Then I finally found them. It's very hard to cut something very delicate that's thick off of an animal that won't hold the fuck still, because they're in a panic. And I'm like, I've got you, buddy, but you've got to work with me here. I'm working on it, because it wouldn't just slide off. He had it that tight. I was like, this cat's cat needs therapy or something. I don't know if this was an accident or if this was this cat saying, nope, I'm out. So I don't know what the fuck happened there, but I mean, I did manage to get it off of him in time, and he seemed not too worse for wear in the end. Like, he seemed okay within like a few minutes after the fact, so. But man, that was terrifying. So now whenever we've got like bags laying on the floor, I'm like, no, that's not staying there. We're either snipping the handles on them or the bag's gotta get put up. Or, you know, no string, no loose strings. If we do play with string with them, that's getting wrapped up and put back in the drawer where they can't rip the drawer open and get to it again. When they've decided that they want to play with it and know where it is. Like, no. We're not having any catastrophes that we can prevent, please. Because that was more than enough for my nerves. No, thank you. Alright, what time is it? Yeah, I might not be doing dishes tonight. There's not too many. Because I still have some work to do when we're done here. There's still things that I need to deal with once we're done here. I gotta get some notes in order. And if I feel up to it, I should really start going, getting the concept idea in place for the gingerbread stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna start recording any of that today. I need to check my hard drive and make sure I've got room on it. Because I'll tell you, getting those speed felt videos together takes up a shit ton of room. I mean, I think it's a... Is it a 3 terabyte drive or is it a 2 terabyte drive? I can't remember what the most recent one I bought was. But I know I bought it specifically for my shit. Like, my videos and art stuff. I think there's a couple of things of Russell's, maybe. Oh, that's what we did. We backed up our photos from the memory cards for the camera. That's what it was. And then I think he transferred all of the shit from, or copied all of the shit from the memory cards for the digital camera. And then I think he wiped the memory cards because they were getting full. So that we had the photos somewhere else. So that stuff's on there. And our camera takes double photos and saves them as 2 different settings. And I'm not entirely sure why. But like, we'll have a copy of the image as this, and then we'll have the same image as this. Like, I think one saves as a JPEG and the other one saves as something else. I guess it depends on what programs you might use for editing photos as to what program likes what copy. I don't know. We're still experimenting with settings on this camera. But, Yeah. Oh, the flamingo painting, the stained glass flamingo painting that we did on stream. That I hope to get relisted or get listed in the shop soon. It might be another 2 weeks before I'm able to get that though. I was kind of hoping to wait and just do it with the next round of stuff going back up in the shop, but I think that stuff doesn't come down until October. I'll see. I'll see. I don't know what stuff's gonna get put back up there, because I have to pay to list everything, and so when something doesn't sell, then I've lost the fee, the listing fee. I mean, it's not very much per item, but when you list 20 some items at a go, it can start to add up there. Maybe I'll wait until I get... You're making me nervous. You're laying on top of stuff, number one. And I can hear it sliding around under you. Mr. Ed. So I'm afraid you're gonna knock that over. Number two, this whole tower of art supply stuff is shaking back and forth. You're making me nervous. Please don't knock that over, because if I have to reorganize all of that tonight, I am not gonna be happy. It's just, like, I don't think he can tip it over. I'd be happier if he would lay somewhere else. He's giving me a death glare. There's like 1,500 other places in this house he could possibly lay. The last time he tried to lay up there, I had a cup of water sitting up there that I had sat down for a minute. And, Russell needed my help with something, so I sat the water down as I was walking by. And then Graceful Ed, who's not very graceful, tried to jump up there from the floor. And shit's about as tall as my chin. Chest area. And I had like some other stuff just kind of sitting on top that I didn't have room for in the drawers. I had some bottles of stuff. What the fuck else did I have up there? I had some of my wire art sculptures and stuff sitting up there, and next thing I knew, everything went flying when he went to jump up there, because he half fucked his jump. My cup of water went flying. Water went everywhere on stuff I had in progress. It went into a couple of the drawers. I have to childproof the whole fucking house. Hey! 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 Cow! Excuse me! Cow! Cow! Hold on. I've got a cat trying to get in my bag of art shit that I just got from the store. Hey, hey, hey. That is not for you. Thank you, sir. That is not for you. Thank you much. I've got, like, thread in there that I don't want him ripping apart. So, and now I have a message and I don't know why. Sorry, husband had messaged me. I wanted to remind him about my ibuprofen before before he goes to bed, so in the hopes that he remembers if he leaves before I wake up tomorrow. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that he knew that we forgot to get it. Like, we were actually going around the corner. Like, we were going to look at the, to see if they had my ibuprofen. And then I was like, oh wait, where's the eye drops? Let me just see how much they are real quick. And it was getting kind of busy in there because it was getting near 5 o'clock. And for some reason that one just, I guess everybody's running in there on their way home or something. And, we looked at the eye drops and I was like, well, let me think about it, but I'm probably not going to get them because I don't have to have them and it's not something I'm going to use all of the time. And I really don't want to spend that much money on something I'm going to use like twice and probably not use again before it expires. So it was just a moment of weakness that I was like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this. But, and then I was like, oh, I need cotton balls. And they were like kind of in my line of vision. And completely forgot about the fucking ibuprofen that was like the next aisle over. I'm like, of course I did. Of course I did. He completely forgot too, so that's why we need lists, damn it. Which is why when he's like talking about we could go to Joanne's now while we're out, and I'm like, fuck, what was on my list? I'm like, I don't have my list. And he's like, oh. He goes, I said, or my card for my account. He's like, well, we can put it on this account, and then when we get home, we can just transfer the money over. And he goes, and I'll pay it in the morning. And I was like, okay. And I just feel bad because we transferred it out of the account into my, out of the one account into my account. And, cause I didn't have my own separate account when we set up the direct deposit on Twitch. So we just used the joint account, and now I have a separate account, and I just didn't go through the bother of switching them. Because Russell's like, oh, I'll just transfer it. He goes, it's not that big of a deal. And I was like, okay, because it's with the same bank, so it takes like a day to do the transfer. So it's not that big of a deal. But as soon as it comes into the joint, I try to get it out so we don't accidentally think we have more to work with for house funds than we do. Because I needed that money for this project that we're doing. Plus a couple, I actually got stuff for like 3 different projects though. I want to see if I can try to do the needle felted pins. And I want to try to do some Christmas ornaments for the tree. I want to try to make some little flamingo guys because I have the right shade of pink now, which is what I got the eye screws for, so that I've got somewhere to attach the string for them. I really want that, but I feel like that Larian's gonna land. He flies around in a circle and then lands back down there. And I have a feeling with my luck, he's gonna end up landing right back down there. Right when I don't want him to. But yeah, no, I had to go rescue the bag of art supplies before Cal got completely inside of it. Because I really don't need the cat, adding cat hair to the felt. The felt is fuzzy enough. I don't need any extra fuzz. and he'll start digging at my embroidery floss and my thread that I need. So it's like, no. Not doing that today, buddy. That, and he'll get in the bag and he'll just keep making it crinkle and crinkle and crinkle. They have something about this crinkling noise that they're obsessed with. Did it just, like, vanish? That was weird, right? I kind of swear we were coming up the hill and I thought there was one in front of me and then one behind me. And it looked like the one in front of me vanished. I mean, I suppose it could have. I told you I'm not doing your quest, hush. But, I know I forgot what the fuck I was saying. Oh, right, the cat. So yeah, if there's even like a plastic bag, like a plastic, like Walmart or grocery bag or whatever, that escaped from the main bag that we shoved them all in, they find it. And then they like loom over it like a gargoyle statue on the side of a building. And they'll just keep crinkling it and balling it up tighter and tighter under them. Just to make it make noise. And then they just kind of like brood over top of it like, my precious. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, stop it. Stop making the noise. Stop making the noise. It's like, let me have the thing. Ooh, I actually need to see. Fuck. We get a lot of our, like, house supplies at Sam's, so, like, we have them in bulk, like trash bags and shit. And while we were out earlier, I said to him, do you know if we're gonna need trash bags? And he goes, I don't know. Like, we have to buy 2 sets of trash bags. It's fucking ridiculous. We have to buy a specific trash bag from our waste department for the city, or else they won't pick up our trash. I guess to prove that we're paying for trash services. Which, okay, fine, but the trash bags are such pieces of shit in quality that half the time when he goes to pull the plastic ties up to close the bag, they rip through the top edge of the bag. Or the bag will split down the side. And we're like, fucking really? Apparently they have a can system now. In addition to the bags where you can get the specific trash cans, I think. But if you sign up for the specific trash can service, you have to buy the can, and I think they have 2 different sizes. But then if you run out of room in your can, they won't pick it up if you sit it on the ground next to it. It has to be in the can. And I'm like, okay. And so because the bags are such shitty quality, and we've gotten or had way too many issues with these bags like splitting halfway down the side and then having to rebag the garbage in another city bag, that we now buy like regular trash bags from the store, and we have to double bag all of the trash bags in the city bags so that they'll take them. Because it's either that or be paying $10 constantly to drop it off ourselves at the dump. And we don't really have that kind of money. So, because it's it's not like per bag, it's per weight or something, and like minimum is $10. So we don't really have anywhere to keep it to do one run at once. So it's a little bit frustrating, especially when there seems to be a couple new people working the trash routes. And we understand that the trash bags are supposed to be like under 50 pounds. 50 pounds max. If it's over 50, they can refuse to take it. And it's like, okay, we understand. We try not to let them get that heavy, but I mean, we also have cat boxes that we have to clear out. So if we put cat litter in the bags, like if we have to change all of the boxes at once, then we try to make that just a cat litter bag. Or if we have to put cat litter from like maybe 2 cat boxes in one bag, we try not to put too much else in the bag and get it out relatively quickly. But the past couple of weeks that this one particular person's been on our trash route, they left a bag in the can 2 different times. And Russell's like, it wasn't even that heavy of a bag. He goes, the stuff I sat next to it was heavier than that one. I'm like, maybe they just didn't see it. And he kind of looked at me. He's like, it was kind of hard to miss. And I'm like, all right. He goes, if they miss it again this week, he's like, I'm going to have to call the water department, because that's who handles our trash service, and be like, hey, what the fuck? Like 3 separate weeks in a row. It's in a city bag. It's not split open. And it's not over 50 pounds. So what the hell? Oh, there's our ding. Yay. So let's see. That took about an hour and a half. Roughly. Not too terrible. For the wee little one. Alright, so let's get our slash played here. I'm sorry I've been rambling all over the place tonight. Like I said, I'm tired. And, we're still kind of all adrenaline rushy, trying to get home and get sorted because we started late. Alright. So, we have WoW challenges, Working Man, Soul Blister, Unspec Priest. Oh, that's not how we spell that. There we go. Dings level 57. So 2 57s tonight. Slash played is sitting at 2 days, 14 hours, 21 minutes, and 34 seconds. Alright, so update to stream schedule. Well, not update, just, you know, letting you guys know. So tomorrow we're going to be doing Planet Zoo. We should be probably starting close to on time tomorrow. As of right now, I don't foresee any errands going to be happening tomorrow. The shit that we were going to do tomorrow, we ended up doing tonight. And I don't think he needs me to go with him tomorrow. At least not as of right now. If it changes, keep an eye on the Twitter. At NiseyBGN, that's where I usually post if we have to start late or if I have to cancel. That's where I'm going to post it. So tomorrow should be Planet Zoo. We're going to get back to work on our entrance. We're getting there. I think we might have 1, maybe 2 more live streams to go on that, because we still have to do the entrance building itself, and we have a lot more landscaping to do. I don't think we're going to get that done in one more session, but then again, it depends on how long the session is. But I'm going to say maybe 2 more sessions on that entryway. Maybe. Saturday, I'm not going to be streaming on here, but like I said earlier, we'll be co-hosting with Lita on the WoW Challenges podcast, 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night on the WoW Challenges Twitch channel. Sunday and Monday, we'll be back to working on our needle felting project that we currently have going on. Not sure how many more sessions we have on that one. We're kind of having a bit of a go trying to get this ground in on that bottom piece and make sure that we get that bottom edge covered, because that yellow is pretty noticeable poking through the brown of the rocks there, and I'm trying to be a little extra fussy with it. So we'll see how far we get on getting that finished up for that. Once we're done that, then we'll start working on our gingerbread project, I think. Now we've got 3 more, hypothetically, we've got 3 more leveling sessions on the Working Man and the Bloodthirsty. I do plan on taking a break of some description, and I'm not sure the length yet, on WoW once we complete that, because I'm a bit burnt out at the moment pushing all of these bloods nonstop. However, let's see, let me bring up the calendar. So we hit 57 here, 58 will be here, 59 will be here, right? So we just hit 57, so 57 to 58, 58 to 59, 59 to 60. So if everything goes according to plan, we should be hitting 60 on October 6th, right? Well, Coral Island, which I did back on Kickstarter on their early access tier, they are letting the alpha backers get in there, I guess, full range on the 9th. Because we got emails saying don't stream it, don't do screenshots, don't do anything until after the 11th. And then after the 11th, they don't care what you do. They're like, you can stream it, you can do whatever. So I'm on the early access tier, so technically I should be getting access to it on the 11th. So if that holds true and I actually do get my access, then on the 13th we'll take a look at playing Coral Island. It's kind of like My Time at Portia and Stardew Valley-esque kind of mushed together from what I understand. But yeah, if I have my access, like I think I should, then we'll take a look at that coming up on the 13th of October. So that's how things are sitting at the moment. That's my plan for the moment. So yeah, we'll run with that, and we'll see how things go. So I thank you guys for hanging out with me this evening, and thank you for putting up with my weird disjointed day. Things can be hectic here at times. So we got that going. Don't forget to follow in all of the socially places. So the YouTube channel where we try to archive the things. The Kofi is there for people that don't want to donate through Twitch, because I know some people don't want our Lord Bezos Amazon to get more money from them. So if you want to donate through Kofi, that goes through my PayPal. It doesn't go through Twitch whatsoever. I just have the widget there so you can see where to go. If you click that, that should take you to the Kofi page. And And there should be a gallery, a larger gallery of the stuff that we've made there. There's a smaller gallery on the Instagram just because I haven't gotten all of the things posted to the Instagram yet. And then we have the Etsy shop where we still have a few needle felted projects available, and we have some of our Bob Ross magnets still available as well. I think the Bob Ross magnets are currently up there for $10 a piece at the moment. I might be doing a clearance sale on them soon though, because I want them gone. They're taking up space. I kind of want them to go. I don't know yet. We'll see. Maybe if I have to relist them in October, we'll put them up for $5 each just to make them go. But we'll see. I've got to think about that. Yeah, so that's what we got going on. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for Planet Zoo, and hope the rest of your work week isn't too painful. And until the next time we're together, you guys have a great one.